It's time for Dents and Dreams, a paintless dent repair podcast focusing on how you can use the fruits of this wonderful trade we call PDR to achieve your wildest dreams. I'm John Bideen, your friendly neighborhood dent reaper and host of Dents and Dreams. Now, let's get started. Let's get started indeed. And today I have none other than the king of San Diego and the king of shade, the king of grip. I don't know what to call you, but the king of partying. If you guys have ever met this man at any event, MTE, Anson, PDR, World Cup, he's always there. And I've gotten to know him very well over the last, year or two here. And Matt Armijo from Get a Grip. This guy is so solid. I don't know. I don't know. There are no words. There are no words for you, Matt. How do you do it?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, John. Appreciate you having me on. Stop it. It's enough. I'm wearing your hat. You're wearing my hat. This is not looking good. We're putting on too much.
A little bit. You know, we got to slap each other on the back a little bit here. Obviously, I got nothing but mad respect for you. So I gotta rock the Get a Grip hat, and I appreciate you rocking the Reaper hat. But these podcasts are best when we tell the story of the tech and how it all came to be. I really feel like, and so. I don't know. Maybe some people don't know what Get a Grip is, and I think we will absolutely get into that. But what happened for you when you found PDR and you decided to make it your career?
Okay. Well, I think just to back up a little bit, I'm so technical. I think we first met, if I'm not mistaken, at Mega Media event, right? Does that sound right?
Sounds right,
Colorado?
Greeley. Yep.
That might have been the first one. Yeah, I think that was the first one. And then Boston, John Scotto's.
Oh man, Scotto's first ever Northeast Dent Tech meetup was wicked awesome, kid. Forget about it. You don't know, but yeah, that was a great time. And every event is a good time. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I so love when I can get together with nothing but dent guys and just talk PDR. Everybody's speaking the same language. You get little nuggets from every tech, whether they're a 20-year tech or a 2-year tech. It doesn't matter. You can learn from everybody, and it's just so much fun. And the camaraderie, the brotherhood, whatever you want to call it. I think it's what it takes to master this craft, to go through that journey. It just bonds us all. And anytime we get together, it's
completely agree. Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah, that's because they didn't come to me obviously right away. For me, I've always thought to myself, why do I feel like we have this bond? And it really is. We're going through the trenches. Like there's no shortcuts to it, really. There's some guys that are a little bit more talented than others when it comes to learning the trade. But at the end of the day, we all go through some, trials and failures and success and wins and losses and a lot of learning. And so once you get to the level we're at, even if you're a 1-year tech, whatever it is, we're all at different levels, and that's how when we all go to Mobile Tech Expo. If you guys haven't been there, when you go there, you see the tools, but you also network and talking to other people and understanding. You'll find people that click with you personality wise, but also maybe even like experience wise, and you realize where everyone's at. We're a brotherhood. I think the way you put it was definitely right. And I know me and you talked about it, but I recently, I don't know, when I say recent, maybe several years ago, kind of, it's kind of really resonated. And that's what's really cool about the industry. We've all gone through a lot of pain, suffering, tears, sweat, and just a lot of mental um, frustration. And we got where we're at, and now we benefit from it. But we all have that connection, though. That's really cool. And I don't know. I'm sure there's other industries. I've always talked to other people about it. I don't know if it's dentistry. I don't know if it's something to do with wheel repair. I don't know if it has anything to do with, who knows, cosmetic. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I selfishly want to say, John, that I think we're the only ones, but we can't be. We can't be. But I do feel that way because we have this really cool, tight, niche network.
Yeah,
It's
the
really
bond
cool.
is
Really
real. The
cool.
bond is real for sure, and it's just
I don't know if plumbers are the same way or electricians. I don't know, but this is fucking badass what we have. But what you talked about is what not all dent technicians have. We're all willing to learn. I'm even willing to learn from a guy that's doing dents for 2 weeks because he might
oh,
look at something
absolutely.
differently. And I'm like, you know what, dude, I never even thought about, trying it that way or using that tool or doing it that way. So what you said and what I think is similar to most people that go to Mobile Tech Expo or go to any kind of meetup or any advanced seminar or anything like that. We're willing to learn. We're always thinking about, hey, you know what? I don't know everything, John. There might be somebody that does it better, faster, more efficient, and that's the key. And
Oh,
that's
definitely.
really
Keep
huge.
the
And that mindset, so it's
Got to
huge.
keep the mind open. Uh oh,
Oh, I got my wife crashing the party.
crashing the party.
Uh,
Oh, you got the the
we got
kiddo.
family. So this is
Who's
Grayson
this
from
kiddo?
Las Vegas visiting.
Oh,
Grayson.
Grayson from Las Vegas. Good to meet you, Grayson. You are officially internet famous. Can't wait to see you in Vegas. Is
So
is
this is,
Carrie
you
coming to
remember Carrie?
Vegas?
Yep, that's
Oh,
Carrie. Absolutely, Carrie. They can't hear because I have a Bluetooth headset on, but Carrie says hi. She's ready to party in Vegas. All right, Carrie, do a body shot for the camera.
oh
No, I'm just
snap!
kidding, John. That's for her brother. Her brother's in town. I hate to do this to your podcast. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to leak this information out early. Her brother's going to come out, and I'm going to do a belly shot off of his belly button. So
Okay,
that's
well,
coming. So if you
everybody look forward to that. If you're watching
guys are
on,
on the cusp of maybe like you're listening right now, if you're listening right into the podcast and it's early and you're like, I don't know if this is going to be fun or not, worth listening, hold tight. There's body shots involved.
body shots
And then
coming, and
my
if you're
wife likes her
watching,
body. Yeah.
if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, the video is available there and or YouTube. So just everybody stay tuned. It's gonna get real, apparently.
Well, you saw the video I sent to you, right? Guy shot a 80-watt laser through his arm.
I
You
don't
didn't see
remember
that.
that one. I don't think I
Yeah,
got that one.
when you shot me a text about the podcast, I shot you a video text right back.
Uh,
And so, yeah, no, I got an 80-watt laser in the garage, and
oh,
yeah,
daddy.
he put a pulse right through his arm. And then what you didn't see on video when you look at it is that he put one through his finger today. That didn't go so well. There's not a lot of meat between the bone and the finger.
That doesn't sound fun at all. Doesn't sound fun
Uh,
at all.
yeah, you don't know my brother-in-law. but um, but yeah, no. So what we're talking about, back to your initial question, John, was about how I started the business with Dents. Back in '05 is when I started. So we're looking at 16 years ago. And my wife says bye.
Hi,
So
Carrie.
16 years ago, I started doing Dents. And how it started was I was roommate with a guy here in San Diego in California. He worked for Dent Pro originally, and then he broke off and started his own, business. The franchise kind of diluted down here in SoCal. So there was probably, I think, three Dent Pro territories, and they all diluted at the same time. And so he started his own company, and I was just renting a room from the guy. He saw my work ethic, very consistent, going to work, showing up to work, leaving, coming back, and we just became good buddies. And long and the short, he hired me as his first employee. I'll tell you this, there is definitely for technicians out there that don't really realize, you just don't know. You think maybe at the beginning you think all the dents are popped out, suction cupped out. Um, there is value in training, like proper training. So there is a reason, just like the dents cost more than another guy, training the same way. So if you guys are listening, you're not, in the industry and you're looking to, start maybe getting into doing dent repair, there's definitely a value in hiring the right, training, place or person. And so what I'm getting to, he never taught anybody. Terrible, terrible at training. And this is back in '05. So back then we had like, I don't know, white acrylic boards with spray painted lines. And, well, the Dent Pro guys that are listening know what I'm talking about. They had these like, I don't know, these bases that you put on the ground, and it's just a vertical piece of white acrylic that you had a line or two spray painted on, and there wasn't any adjusting really. So that line was vertical. So if the dent was horizontal, you take it, put it horizontal, but it was diagonal. You got to get creative. Um, but long and the short, John, it took me, put it this way, I started 2005, January 2nd. I didn't know if I was going to be a dent guy, that was going to be my life. And I did this every day. Didn't know if I was going to make it until January 1st of 2006. Took one exact year. It was crazy. My wife, I'd come home like 7 months in. I mean, forget about 2 weeks, 2 months, 6, 7, 8 months in. The wife, I'd come home and she'd go, I wish she was here, dude. She'd be like, she'd roll her eyes, feeling bad, but she would ask, "Did you take a dent out today?" And all I was doing was training. And so basically, what that meant, he had his own body shops and route work, whatever. I'd go with them, right? And I'd learn a lot of other information other than dance. I'd learn how to talk to people, how to deal with managers, how to deal with body shop people, how to interact with people. Great. But when it came to dance, I'd work on his own car, right? So I'd actually take a tool. He put a dent in his own truck. It was an old Nissan pickup, and I would actually, try to fix that dent. But I did that every day, right? Not,
Wow.
I would say 5 days a week, between 5 to 8 hours every day, right?
That's crazy. That's madness.
Every day for a year. 9 months, like kind of feather me out into doing like some wholesale work. Oh yeah, madness. And now knowing, being in the business so long and seeing what today, other people how they train. Oh, it's crazy. I mean, I could not believe that I mean, I had nothing to fall back on. But I enjoyed the idea because I'm very passionate about what I do. I've always thought, if you're going to spend the time to do something, John, if you're going to spend the time to do it right, And so the
Absolutely.
company, my personal company is Dents Done Right. And to have a company name like that, you better fucking know what you're doing, right? Um, and so I worked with him for about 4 years. The problem with him, he started hiring more people, employees, and the issue with the company I worked with, I mean, these were some of the worst guys. Two of them in particular were terrible. I mean, they're not even auction kind of guys that you want to work. Just I'd go on like a week vacation, come back, and my account that I was working at, all the dents were just they had their own like atmosphere. The dents were so high. I'm like, this is rookie shit, and they're so bumpy and pockmarked out. And I would have a conversation with him, and he basically would say, you know what, dude, like he wouldn't even argue. That was the best part about him. He's a very good person to smooth things out. He would say, you know what, Matt, that is not what we stand behind. That is unacceptable. You're right. This and that. Perfect personality. His personality is one of those guys we talk about where you want somebody that's really good at like having these personal connections and having a relationship with whoever, or you want the best dent guy, best personality or best dent guy. This guy has a really good personality, and he did good dents, not great, good, but the employees did terrible dents, right? But he had a really good way of talking with people. Communicating was like an A on his list, right? And so he would tell me, hey, look, this is not acceptable. 100% right. This is not what we stand behind. I'm gonna have a talk with them. We're gonna, talk about this, and we're gonna fix this. And if we don't, we're gonna write them up and blah 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 blah. Right? Honestly, not to exaggerate, I would like to say 50, but I'm not gonna exaggerate. I'm gonna say I had 25 conversations about that. The same thing happened over and over 25 times. I had 25 conversations with him, and he told me the same thing every time. And so at the end of the day, John, I told him, peace out. That was it.
So
So from
that's a huge leap.
2011, oh, go ahead. I was gonna say from 2006 to, so 5 years. I worked with him 5 years, 2011.
Yeah. So that's a huge leap. I worked for my first employer for 7 years. And it's a huge leap to go on your own. And obviously this
Mm-hmm.
quality control issues, whatever you want to call it, was that the crux of it for you, or what gave you the motivation or the spark to say, you know what, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna start Dents done
Hopefully,
right
hopefully.
and go on your own.
Hey, I just want to make sure you could hear me. You're breaking up a little bit. We good?
Yeah, there's a
All
little
right.
bit of breakup on my end too, but I think we're fine. So
All right.
what sparked you to go on your own?
Basically that, yeah, because we were losing accounts. So there was accounts that were being lost, and he would go in there and smooth them out. And he's like, "Hey, look, this happened multiple times." Basically, he would tell the body shops, different wholesale accounts, like, "Look, you're right. Apologize for this guy coming in and doing bad service. It's either gonna be me or Matt coming in." That happens so many different times, and I'm like, "What?" Like I'm doing these train wreck dents, right? Because I was very advanced at my time of doing dents. Um, I was kind of leading, like I was the only guy with a heat gun. Every time I'd take a heat gun, plug it in, right? Extension cord, plug it in, heat up a dent. I was using cold ice. I was taking ice from the heat, so I was more conditioning to like, let me try it though. I don't know, what's possible. So I was always like venturing to areas that were, in my area, not something that was common. And so basically, I was doing these advanced dents, and I have, crazy smashes. And then I'd leave, like I said, go somewhere, or I have a guy go take my account, hey, can you go visit this, easy little dent, whatever it was, right? And I wasn't in the area that day. And then you come back, and they're like, oh, yeah, they destroyed it. So I'm like, wait a minute, I'm doing this smash bedside, and he just, basically fucked up a little tiny, quarter-inch dent, butchered it up, and I had enough of that. And so that's why I came out with Dent's done right. Yeah, that was
Jackpot. So that
yeah,
was
that was
2011, you
basically it.
say?
I didn't feel like I just felt like yeah, we're all wearing the same uniforms, John. I have the same uniform. Like if we're all working together, I have that one, you have that one, he has this one. We're all equal in the eye of the public, right? So I could be doing the greatest work ever, but review wise and as a whole, I'm only as good as my weakest link. So that's
Sure
pretty much
enough.
sums up why I left the company because it was pride. I mean, I was getting paid. So everyone's different, John. So I was getting paid depending on a scale. So everyone I know, I listened to I grew up listening to. It was perfect timing. Not to get sidetracked, but PDR College was a huge shift in the industry. I mean, as a whole, For
Absolutely.
me, listening to, listening to Shane and Keith. Keith really explains like how he pays his guys and this and that, and Shane always says, or Shane, Keith always says, look, there's two reasons why most people leave any business, right? Any employer they leave for two reasons, and sometimes it's a little bit of both, and sometimes one it's everything for just one. Basically, he's like, look, the employee doesn't feel like he's not getting paid right, or he doesn't feel like he's being
Appreciate it.
treated that what's he say? I appreciate it. Thank you, John. So it's basically one of those two reasons, or a little bit of both. And so, talking with Keith, I pay my guys right, and I make sure they feel appreciated. And I try to do both. And even if I don't do, if I just pay them right, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But the point is, I wasn't feeling appreciated, or was I being paid right? That was, the reason, the main, reason that I, started my own business. But he's such a good talker, though, John. Really good at,
Yeah.
reasoning and talking with you. But you can only do it so long. Like I said, I had 25 conversations about the same thing over and over and over, and no change. So that just kind of forced me to start my own business, which was great.
Yeah.
And the
So I,
guys
g-
that work
I,
for
g-
me now, I treat them really well, and I pay them really well. I pay them the 70% commission, which is ridiculous. And Keith will even tell you, he looks back and even says, like, well, maybe I paid my guys too good. I pay them good. I pay them good. I'm not trying to get rich off the guys. I want them to feel accomplished. I want them to feel appreciated, and I want them to know that I appreciate them. I'm not making a whole lot of money, and I'm doing a lot of work.
yeah.
That's a huge deal. And some guys get away with a lot less. I'm just not a good communicator, I guess, basically. If you're really good at
Well,
communicating, you probably give them less commission. But I just want these guys to feel valued. Like when they go to work, hey, dude, if you bust your ass, you're gonna make a lot of money. And that's if I was getting paid 70%, fuck. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of work in having your own business. There's no like checking out. You know that.
oh, absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
you know,
And
there's
I
no
got
like,
paid 40% for,
oh, jeez,
the
damn.
lion's share of my time. And that's fairly industry standard in my market, I should say. There's a really big dealership group up here that pays 39%. And there's several other larger PDR companies that pay 40. So, different markets allow for different things, and it just really depends on, I guess, where you're at in the country and so on and so forth.
I guess.
But
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's
I'm
crazy, bro.
training a
John,
guy
ridiculously crazy.
and not well, not necessarily because, like you say, I know. I mean, Keith and Shane laid that out early on. I mean, I don't know what that was, 2014 ish. They were talking about
Hmm.
that same number basically, and you know, yeah, and there comes a point where where is the breaking point to where you're not going to lose guys, and if you're trying to have a long-standing and growing business, you have to have talented techs. And in order to keep talented techs, you got to treat them right in every facet, really. And I agree with you. Like I'm on my first employee, and I love the kid. He's really good, and he started bare bones. I met him, fresh out of training, and we've gone to a couple different seminars, and we've
I
done
think I met him, right,
a
John?
yeah, I believe you met Zach. Yeah.
Was he at Indiana at Jim Mitchell's shop?
Yes. Yep.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to provide him some of these opportunities so he can understand the industry as a whole and get to meet more guys and train with more guys I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, I'm not a very good trainer. I'm like, push push up the low spots and knock down the highs. That's my training. So he benefits a lot more from hanging out and getting to talk with guys that are professional trainers like Jim Mitchell, or we went to Crystal Ellison's push metal seminar, and he got to do blending with Woody and learn a ton from Cliff. And we were fortunate enough to have Cliff come in here. He was helping out with the Dream event, and he helped us out a couple days on the route work, and that was big. I think I really think that was one of the turning points. And between the push metal seminar and hanging out with Cliff, he made some pretty significant strides, and it's to the point now that he's sucking up half my work. And after the push metal seminar, we set some goals there, and he's meeting and exceeding some of those goals, and it's really cool to see. And it just I'm
That's
super
awesome.
proud, and at the same time, what he's gonna listen to this too, so it's kind of weird for me to say, but you look at it and you think, like, I don't know, what does this kid really need me for after this point? I don't know, but I
mean, if he's gonna listen to this, I'm gonna apologize now. I don't pay my guy 70%. I'm just making that up for the podcast. John is the highest paying employer. Sorry, but if you want to
no
move
big
to
deal.
San Diego,
No big deal.
California,
No, I'm not.
Come on down.
Hey, no, I'm not trying to pull the wool over his eyes or do anything in that respect. And what do you got there? Little Buffalo Trace? Little Buffalo Trace. Love it. Love it. I see your Buffalo Trace, and I call. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, John. Where's your beer? Don't tell me.
My beer is right here next to my microphone, but if you're going to be pulling on the Buffalo Trace, I'll join.
I think he's unlocking his liquor cabinet. But I'm going to tell you about John real quick. This guy's an animal. John doesn't give us nothing. Oh, there, you're back. Oh, shit. I was talking to your fans.
Continue. What were you going to say? A bunch of bad stuff, I bet.
I'm trying to
I'm
talk
back
behind
now
your
so
back.
I can hear.
You're back. Yeah. I'm not going to talk behind your back. But I was going to try to say how John doesn't get enough credit on being their cheerleader of PDR. Like, I don't think there's an event that John's missed in the last 3 or 4 years. There's Mega Media event, Utah. I mean, stuff people don't even know what we're talking about. I mean, you've been to World Cup, Jim Mitchell's, Crystal Ellis, Boston, Texas. I say it to John all the time, but now that we're on the podcast, this guy is an animal. And like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I don't think John gets enough credit. This is a team player right here. Vidine is one of a kind. I don't know anyone like you. You're on a different level, dude. I don't think there's anybody. If you were to compare yourself to anybody that made every one of these events, we're just grading on just meetups, right? You win, dude. There's not the trophy's to you. Number one, there's not. Do you know, John? I'm asking you seriously on your own podcast. Put yourself aside. Is there anybody that would be second place? Who would be second place to you? 'Cause I don't know, dude. I think I made every event except World Cup, Crystal, in the last 3 years, dude. And I don't even put myself even high. Anyway.
Yeah. You're right there.
Key West, you are Key West, but you've been to so many different events. Don't even start. There's somebody that's close to you.
Well, if anybody's close,
you're an animal.
You're an animal. Don't do this. We're not gonna break each other's arms, patting each other on the back here. I appreciate it. Here's the thing. I freaking love these events, and for me to be able to call that a working event and be able to write it off and go to these things and hang out with Dent guys. And like we talked about, the camaraderie is real and the brotherhood is real, and there's always fun to be had at these things. So I've gotten to meet so many cool guys over the years. I'm not even going to start to name them all because I will miss somebody and I'll feel bad about it. But every event I get to hang out with people that are just real good, honest people. They work hard. They give a fuck about what they do to no end. If you're going to take the time out to go to one of these events to try to up your game, to try to learn more, then you're my kind of person. Like I love hanging out with these people, and I appreciate everyone I've met along the way, and I feel so damn lucky that
Right?
can even be considered part of my job. It's
Right?
preposterous.
I agree with you, John.
I'm the luckiest man alive. If that's called work, then I would work every freaking day, all day, because it's a blessed place to be. So I think we're all lucky in that regard. So
No, I appreciate that. Yeah.
so let's spin the wheels here a little bit, Armijo, because we got through the first part of your story, and then you started Dents Done Right, and then when does Get a Grip come into play? Like, how do you decide that you're going to start this mobile accessories company that is really designed to help the mobile tech out?
You know, I would say 2010 or so. I started, realizing I'm a mobile tech down in San Diego, so we have a lot of sun, and a lot of the wholesale accounts. There's no shade. It's not extremely hot like a desert, environment, but there's a lot of sun. So two things with the sun. Um, when I started doing dance, the little plexiglass, like we talked about, like that little acrylic glass with the black line, was great in the sun. But the car being, super reflective off the sun was not great, especially on like whites and silvers.
Oh yeah,
So,
I
and then
remember
also
the
not to mention,
dingboard days.
yep, and not to mention, you're in the sun too, so you're sweating and it's just miserable. So I came up with an umbrella. Just obviously, there's an umbrella. I bought an umbrella and I put a suction cup on it, and I put these, brackets on it, and I drilled a hole through it, and I took the handle off the umbrella, and so that was like my umbrella, right? And then the guys that I told you about that worked with the same company had me make them umbrellas. Same thing. Take the handle off one of these whatever random umbrellas, hacks it off, put a little rod on it, drill a hole, put a little bolt and a handle on it. It worked. It worked. And so I always knew though, it was weirdest thing ever, John. I don't know how to tell you this, but I always knew I was gonna sell umbrellas. And I had other people go, you know what, you should market that thing. That is a really cool thing. And I always knew in my mind the what I had was not the what I wanted to market. Not what I had in mind. But I appreciated it. I was like, yeah, no, thank you. Oh yeah, dude, if you made those things, you could probably sell those. I was like, yeah, probably, but I wouldn't do it. And so basically, fast forward 2015, go back to Keith Cosentino. I'll make this quick. He had the first advanced seminar in Orlando, right? So him and Keith and Shane had an advanced seminar, and I signed up for it. And went down to Orlando. First time I ever went to Mobile Tech Expo. First time going to Orlando. Signed up for it. Did the seminar. Well, then right after the seminar, they had Mobile Tech Expo, and I've never been there. All these great tools, all these different vendors. Really cool. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, this is really cool to get the whole tools. And then I saw another company selling umbrellas. Idea I had, right? I'm like, wow, crazy. I went up, talked to the gentleman that was selling the umbrella, and I asked him about it, and he told me they were sold out. And I looked at it. He only had one on display, and I told him, well, I looked at it, and I kind of knew it right away. Looking at it, I could tell. He took kind of the same idea I already had. He chopped the handle off an umbrella, drilled a hole through it, and put not a handle but something else. And I looked at it and I asked him, does it churn? Because I didn't know. So I asked him, does it churn? It was absolutely it churns. I go, all right, and he shows me. He unsuction cups it from the display and churns it and resuction cups it. I go, all right, cool. Do you sell these? He's like, yeah, I do, but I'm sold out. So then I knew you're sold out. There is a market for this, and I knew in my mind. And I said this on other podcasts too, John. It's not you're not the first guy this story's come out with, but the point is, I was like, okay, there's the market because my wife always said, oh yeah, no, you could come up with something better, and I was like, even what I had, she's like, you could sell that. I'm like, yeah. All the people told me that, but then I was like, once I figured out all these techs are using, they need shade, and they also needed an umbrella. I realized, okay, there is a market, and he sold out. So when he said they sold out, that was my key to go, all right, let me spend a year to figure this out. So I came up with something in 2017. So 2015 I saw it. 2016 I took the year off. 2017 I started a booth at Mobile Tech Expo, and kind of the rest is history. So basically, I took my idea and just made it a little bit better. Made it where I didn't have to modify the umbrella, and also you could adjust without unattaching the suction cup, so you could pivot it 360 degrees. And yeah, it was more than just an umbrella. You could hold a flag, a fishing pole, a gimbal, camera. So it wasn't something where you had to use just my product with an umbrella. So basically, that was it. Yeah, I mean, I've always had that feeling of like making an umbrella, John, but not until going there and it was my insecurities basically not coming out with something like that right away until seeing somebody that is actually selling a product that keeps technicians in the shade. Um, that was definitely the pushing, the turning point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
and
don't know if
it
that
is a
answered your
great
question.
product. If you guys don't have it, um, you probably should. I have one. I use it on the regular. Anytime I need shade, even up here in good old Minnesota, sometimes the sun still shines, and it gets plenty hot and plenty sunny. And when you're fighting reflections and different things on the dealer lot, it's huge. It's a really powerful tool, and everybody should have one. But where does the strong arm come in? Because I
I mean,
honestly had I'm a just F this, let's get it done kind of guy, and I don't like dealing with setup. Um, so
I mean,
I've
I hate, I'd rather compliment you, John, to be honest with you, not to cut you off.
I know it's gonna
I
be
don't I don't like to
uncomfortable.
compliment myself. I mean, I'm not one of those guys like I don't know, dude. I'm just trying to make products that just benefit people and help them out, work more efficient. But listening to myself talk about the umbrella, honestly, dude, I just tried to make a product that's really efficient and solid. I mean, the strong arm, that was something that came secondary. So the following year, um, I love, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier or we are talking behind before the podcast started. I love using heat. I don't love it, but I use it and realize I love it because it moves metal, aluminum, much easier.
Oh,
Your
aluminum for
work is a
sure.
lot
Yeah.
cleaner. I mean, your work's gonna come out a lot cleaner. You have a smash through a body line, a sharp dent through a body line, you're going to use heat or not, I mean, the heat's going to make the actual material move a lot easier. So you're going to make smoother, softer pushes, right? So you're going to have less strength in the push, and it's going to move a lot more material. And so having consistent heat, and there's a lot of techs out there today that still don't realize. I get people that tell me all the time they buy my strong arm that's designed to hold a heat gun. That's the primary use for it. I have technicians tell me, you know what, I never used heat like this. And now having your product, my work comes out a lot cleaner and it moves a lot easier and it's a lot faster to repair. But consistent heat, John,
Definitely.
is the key.
Oh
Sometimes
yeah,
just
and
warm. Like I even
Most
see
guys know. Most guys know when you're working aluminum. There is a weird phenomenon with aluminum, and I don't know what to call it. Like you can call it aluminum scarring, maybe, but when you push aluminum without heat, you're gonna get a weird texture, a weird pattern in that aluminum that it's basically unavoidable. Like I have not, unless you're using heat, and still sometimes when you are using heat, you're gonna get those weird marks. And I don't know what that is, and I have yet to have somebody explain that to me in a way that makes sense. And I don't know, maybe you know better than me being in your position, but
I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest with you. Every aluminum dent I've always used heat when it comes to a sharp dent. I don't even know what you're talking about, John. I believe you. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna have to do a video on
A
it next time I
texture,
get
a
on aluminum.
texture. I mean, this is news to me.
Yeah,
So
it's
is it it's like orange peel texture? Like what are you
no,
talking about here?
it's not
I've never heard anyone
necessarily a
talking about
push
this.
mark, but it's just like a residual effect on that aluminum that I mean, especially without heat. And we're gonna need somebody with really high video quality to show this off. You've inspired me to maybe reach out to some people on this, but it's just a weird aluminum, like it's a weird scarring thing that just comes with working on aluminum. That it's not like a push mark, and it's definitely not orange peel, but it's definitely a result of that aluminum being worked on. That
Any color? The
any
color doesn't
color,
make a
it
difference.
creates
Okay.
a
All right.
weird kind
Hmm.
of mark on it, and I don't know, like. And another thing with aluminum, if you have ever been working aluminum and your tool slips, where you would normally leave a snail trail, it leaves a reverse snail trail, and
Ooh.
uh, ends
Ooh.
up being like a tiny little crease mark. You've never seen that?
I probably have. I don't. Oof. I did an
Well,
aluminum tailgate yesterday on the F-150. It was smashed, and I knew it was smashed, but I thought, you know what? There's a chance. But I mean, if I had a photo I could share with you guys, I don't. There's no technician. I mean, it was the trailer ball smashed through the tailgate. I mean,
ugh,
didn't look as sharp. It wasn't the dent. It was the sharpness of it and the
yep,
location.
yep,
But no, I looked at it, and I worked. I already knew I had no business. I took the thing off and I put it on a hood stand. I started pushing it. Long and the short, no. No, I'm not familiar with what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. And I work at like three different Ford dealerships. I work at a lot of aluminum. I'm not aware of it. Yeah.
huh?
And
Well,
I'm just not alert to it. Like I just didn't recognize it. But yeah, yeah.
strange enough. Either way, let's go to MTE Vegas. I mean, let's go to MTE Vegas. I'm going. I'm not
Alright.
personally going to have my own booth. Um, that's just not how I roll because I like to enjoy the show. I'm a very
Don't blame me.
social person. I
Don't
like to
blame you.
get around, and I know you're the same way. How do you
Oh yeah.
manage that for yourself? When are you first off? Are you going to have a booth at MTE Vegas?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll be in Vegas this August. What is it, John? 26?
26,
Do you know
7,
exact
and
dates?
8. The 26th is
Yep.
Education Day. 27,
Yeah.
28 are the show days.
Oh no, I got a
And
booth. I got a double booth. I got hotel rooms already booked. I'll be there. So if you guys are coming to visit Vegas, and if you're listening and haven't ever been to MT, or you have but only in the East Coast, come to Vegas. The rooms are cheaper and they're a lot more fun.
yeah,
It's
Vegas
gonna be a
is a
good time.
great time. A great
Oh yeah.
time. so much fun to be had. And I think it's going to be a great show. I mean, we have been forced to miss, Vegas last year and Orlando.
And yep. So,
and I think a lot of guys are going to be flocking to Vegas this year. So book early if you can. Just Google Mobile Tech Expo and find their website. I don't know what it is. Is it mobiletechexpo.com? I'm going to look it up right now.
John, I don't know. But I will tell you, while he's looking it up, I have gotten a lot of feedback from other technicians that normally go to the Orlando show that are hungry for a show. They're going to Vegas. And then the first Vegas show was in 2020 of, was it 2020?
It was August or September. It was.
But the first one they had,
19, yeah.
There were some vendors that are kind of not sure about the show being a great hit. This show's going to be awesome. It's gonna be off the hook.
No doubt.
This is gonna be the show of the show because I've had so many people tell me about how they're going to Vegas. They're like, "Oh no, dude, we're going to Vegas. We're going to Vegas." Like, absolutely. So this is gonna be a great show. So if you guys are on the fence about going to Vegas, you're gonna miss out. Big time.
And it is mobiletechexpo.com. Just go book.
Point.
At South Point. I've booked my room. We're trying to figure out travel plans between my wife and I, whether what day she's going to come in, because we got a mastermind with the PDR 20 group. I got a meeting the day before.
I'm in that with you too, dude.
Yeah. So I'm in the 2.0.
I'm in
20.2
with you, dude. I'm the same one. Me and you are the same one, dude.
Yeah. So I think
you didn't even know that.
I think the meetings are merged, right? So it'll be like
I'm in the
PDR.
2.0, dude. I'm in the same exact group with you, John. You didn't even realize.
I didn't.
You missed the last meeting, John. I'm snitching on you.
So you,
yeah.
I did miss the last meeting. I was camping and I had
That's
one
right.
bar.
No excuses. That's fine. I mean, I'm not judging you.
I felt badly that I missed the meeting, but I didn't know you were in that group.
That just shows our loyalty, dude. We're like-minded people, dude. I'm in the same group.
Yeah. And
but back to Mobile Tech Expo is at the South Point in Las Vegas. The rooms are more affordable than the Orlando, and the flights probably comparable to Orlando. But it's all under the same roof. It's really, really a good time.
You never have to leave the South Point. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, you got exactly. It's on the strip, but it's off distance from the. It's technically on the strip, but you don't have to leave the hotel. You got the hotel, you got the Mobile Tech Expo, and you have the casino, and you got parties and bars. I mean,
there's whatever. There's like 5 or 6, 7 different restaurants in the joint. There's different bars. The sports club bar, the sports book. That's the way you say it? Sports book. That bar was kind of a hangout spot last year, and I'd be surprised if it was anywhere else this year. But just so much awesome stuff to be done there, and I mean, that place, any other time, pretty cool. I would hang out there. But when it's filled with Dent guys, that's the magic. And if you can get yourself there for Mobile Tech Expo, definitely do it. I mean,
come on, John. When can you say you have 12 guys at a craps table, at one time? Never. Only in Vegas.
Fair enough.
John,
Fair enough.
John's like, I wasn't at that table.
I don't play craps personally, but I wouldn't know what I was doing. I might need some. I might need a slight tutorial on craps. But I was at the sports book the whole time, just hanging out with Dent guys, and it was a ridiculous amount of fun. So. You guys got to show up. Just take my word for it. It's a great time.
So I will have a booth there. I have a double booth, and I'm gonna share a part of the booth with Michael Glidewell from um, um,
Dentmate.
Dentmate. Thank you, John. Dentmate's
There we
gonna be
go.
there. Dentmate,
Glidewell.
he was not gonna have a booth, and I go, no, that's nonsense. I got a booth. I got some room. Tag on with me. So I got Michael
Glidewell is
Glidewell.
such a solid dude. If you guys have a chance to have a cigar with Mike Glidewell, uh,
Stick.
that's his thing. That's his thing. He loves a good
Oh,
cigar.
oh yeah.
And just a genuine dude and so cool. So yeah, if you get a chance to hang out with Mike Gladwell, definitely do it. I'll probably be there, and so so will Armijo, but
Oh yeah.
or Armaggio as he would call you.
Armaggio. Yes. Armaggio will be there and Armia.
Yeah.
What else? Glidewell. Shout out to Glidewell. What's his podcast, John?
RWO Life. Yeah, if you're not listening to RWO podcast, it's everywhere. It's whatever, Apple, Spotify, all the channels. It's called The Real World Order. It's Glidewell, it's Jim Mitchell, and those guys have a great take on the PDR industry as a whole, great take on everything. He does 5 stupid ass questions, always entertaining, and love that dude, love that podcast, and yeah. And Dentmate is a legit app, so check that out too. And for all you Australians, check out dentmate.com.au, mate. Is that
That's pretty good.
that's
I like that.
is it good? Yeah, I don't know. You know, Chris Dale from New York calls me the king of the mediocre accent.
No,
So
I heard that one. Hey.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Nah, you're above me. I will say I apologize to all the fans that listen to Dents and Dreams and Michael Glidewell's RWO, the last podcast. It's not my fault. I'm gonna come out right now, John. You might not want to hear this, but I was the last guest on the podcast, and that was not my fault. If it was my choice, it would
Really?
have been the first one. So if anyone was listening to the last podcast I was on, I didn't listen to. But if you were listening to it, that's not my fault. I was in rotation the last. So at the beginning, I had enough, comprehension to actually have, articulating sentences. But towards the end now. So that last podcast in Texas, I apologize to anyone that listened to that. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
the one in
And
Texas.
if you
Yeah,
did, and
yeah,
if you
yeah.
did listen to that podcast, you're just as hammered as all of us. You stuck around that
Probably. If you
long.
made it all the
Yeah.
way through. Yeah, well, and that wasn't the last RWO. I mean, there's been plenty of
For me,
RWO.
the one
Oh,
I
for
was
you,
on.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was terrible. I was like, holy
Oh,
shit.
well. You know what? That was at
John,
the tail
John.
end. The
Oh, that was
tail end of Anson Open House, and let's just be honest. It was
Benny
a
Miracle's
day.
fault.
Probably it was all probably all Benny's fault. But no, I mean
That was a
literally,
good time. That was a
we
blast.
woke up, we went to Anson,
I,
and there was tons of fun to be had at the Anson show. I mean, shout out to Craig, Christina Dyer, Craig Dyer, Christina Seconder, Vinny, Chris Biggs,
all right,
everybody at
there's
Anson.
something else I want to talk to you, John. I'm gonna put this out because no one's listening to this podcast. But if they do, listen, John. Not no insult. He's like, oh shit. So something I didn't mention, I might have mentioned, I don't remember. So I'm at Anson's house, right? I'm at Craig's, mansion. One thing I didn't mention, end of the night, I tell Christina, I call her Crystal. I go, hey Crystal, thank you for having me over. And then someone comes up, she's like, it's Christina. I was like, I knew that. but I've been drinking since like 9 a.m. and now it's like
And
midnight.
and moonshine on top of it.
Well, I'm not making excuses. I just said I'm drinking, right, John?
Fair
But I
enough.
do want to say this. If Christina's listening, she's like, "Oh, thank you. I did fuck that up." And that was a long day, dude. But like any
Yeah,
professional, I mean, you know,
you gotta take your lumps. Take your lumps and admit
but
when you're wrong.
that
And
did
yeah,
bother me. It did when it happened. It messed me up. It messed me up. So whatever it means, I'm sorry. And no
yeah,
intentions of it.
sometimes,
I was
listen,
close, but
sometimes things aren't always
Craig
perfect.
Craig had some Craig has some bourbon over there that was pretty stiff.
Oh, he had a, the best selection. Those guys rolled the red carpet out for everybody in the industry, and like, I mean, when we pulled up there was nowhere to park. Like,
Oh, it's
he
insane.
invited I couldn't believe how stacked that place was, and I'm just eternally grateful, and I'm going to join you on the Buffalo Trace, sir. But I tell you what, that was a great event. I think I've talked about it every single podcast since that event, and I probably will talk about it every podcast until the
Right?
next one. Um, Whatever, the hospitality, the food, all the way down the line. Those guys really know how to do it right, and I'm just glad I went. So if you ever get a chance to check out the new showroom, if you're in the Burleson, Texas area, I don't know how many
Oh,
hours.
no,
How many
John,
hours
me,
would you
man.
drive out of your way just to go to Anson? I'm gonna call it a 4. I'm gonna say I would drive 4 hours out of my way just to go to Anson.
Hmm. Can you hear me, John?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, you're breaking up. No, I agree. That was an awesome event. I mean, if you're in anywhere within 4 hours, I would dude hesitate. That's the place to go. Anson is like the best place ever. Only Anson Craig needs to open up as a restaurant, dude. You know, he needs to do the Orange County Choppers. Go from La Modified,
Oh,
to open up, a, a grill, like a pork
yeah,
grill,
yeah. Oh,
belly.
well, with
Craig,
live
I can
entertainment,
see that have
he could have Jay Gearhart and State of Mind there.
right,
Oh,
right.
that would be the Dentapalooza of the century. I would pay how much would you pay for a ticket to go to Anson and watch Jay
Per
Gearhart, State of
person,
Mind?
but I'm talking VIP seating in the front row. VIP, 125 per person.
Easy, easy. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm already. You could double it, and I would still be in.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you're a big State of Mind fan, but they just dropped their new
Oh yeah.
song, Heart Shaped Box, and I was a huge Nirvana fan growing up, and they do it justice. It's a fucking great cover. I love it. So shout out to those guys. Go download it, watch it on YouTube, stream it. I don't know. I don't know how that works anymore in the music industry. Call your local radio station and
Stop it. Stop
request.
it. Stop it, John.
Yeah, too much. But yeah, we are already getting close to an
Cheers,
hour in
kisses.
here.
All right.
So what, if anything, is there anything I missed that we need to?
Yeah, I wanna finish this up real quick, John. Can you see that?
Yeah, that is a prototype Reaper dead center
Yeah.
hex tab. Yeah.
Yeah. Guess where I got it, John? Guess where I got that prototype at?
Anson.
Not from you. Not from you.
Where'd you get
So
it?
I've
You
been
get it
using.
from
Look at this
Toledo?
all. Look how pulled
It
it
looks
is.
like you stretch. It's stretched.
Yes, it's stretched.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
That ain't good.
So
That's not what we're
I
trying to promote here. What? How did
so
that
if anyone's
happen?
anyone's listening, John, I hang out with this motherfucker all the time. Won't give me one. He shows it to me. I hold one. I don't get one. Guess where I get it from? Mike Toledo.
Son
Yeah,
of a
Mike gives
bee.
this to me. Yes. And guess what I did? I ordered a whole 3 bags, variety pack. I don't have them yet from Kiko. I ordered 3 bags of Kiko variety pack. Don't have them yet, but this is what I've been using. Yep. Thank
Hot
you,
diggity.
John. I
Hey,
just wanted to give you some. I wanted to give you some shit. Yeah,
you
yeah.
were
No,
a
no.
day
In
late,
Texas, you showed this to me. I hold it. I can't have
and
it.
I took it away from you? I didn't give you one?
Yes, you did. Oh yeah,
Are you
yeah,
sure?
yeah. Oh yeah. What do you call it? Was there? We don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
several people from Anson lost theirs. Several
Oh,
people
oh.
that I
No, I got
gave
one.
prototypes
I've been
to.
holding on to it. It's right there.
Several people
Sign
that
it.
I gave those things to from Anson, the clear prototypes, they lost them. And if I gave you one, it's probably, or if I took that one out of your hands, it's probably because it was the last one, and I had somebody very special in mind that I had to give it to.
You
So I
did. You did.
apologize.
You said that. You said that. I'm just giving you shit. You did say that. You did say that.
Well, yeah, there wasn't a ton of those to go around, so you know,
Dude, you drove me
I
to the
do
airport,
apologize.
so I can't. I can't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now you're like, oh yeah, that's right.
How dare you
No,
even
I
call
can't. I
me
can't
out?
hold you. Yes. I'm feeling so bad about your guilt. I'm like, dude, you drove me to the airport. Don't worry about it.
I forgot about
I
that.
walked through with the Reaper tool. Talk about that. I walked through that airport with the fucking 24-inch Reaper tool.
How did you make it through security with that? Listen, you said earlier that you were not a good communicator. You made it through security with a Reaper tool? How do you do that?
Confidence, my man. Confidence. You always have to act like you belong. That's it, dude. No guarantees, but that's going to be help you a long ways in life. Yeah.
Hot diggity. So you just
Yep.
were like, obviously I'm going through with this. This is
Yep. Exactly.
just a dent
It's
tool.
exactly what I
What do you
did.
want?
I walked right through security with it. It's exactly what I did. Well, you told me. So I pull it, you pop your trunk, and you're like, dude, I thought about it for 2 seconds. I was like, you know what, John? I don't think I could get through security. And then I was like, you know what? I'm all about testing systems. I like testing systems. I will get it through security. If I don't, great. I'll learn something, right? I made it right through.
Bam. That
Ridiculous.
was impressive
Take your
because you
shoes
did
off, but don't take that 24-inch blade out of your backpack.
literally that could. I mean,
No,
that could do a
I
lot
got a
of damage.
lot of feedback because I posted that. I got a lot of feedback from that one.
That could do a lot of damage.
Oh,
Yeah. And I
yeah.
mean, I've had a freaking pocket knife smaller than my thumb get taken away from me. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Hey guys, if you're going to MTE Vegas, here's a little tech tip for you. Buy the Dentcraft likes to sell those bags. They have the travel bags. It's like I don't know what it's originally designed for, skis or something. But you can fit a lot of dent tools in there and still check it. And it costs $30 to check a bag, or what, depending on your airline, or it costs a lot more to ship it. So get one of those bags and check it. And that's how I bring my dent tools home from MTE. So I don't know if anybody else does that or not, but that's my tech tip for MTE Vegas, and book your tickets to MTE Vegas.
I had a lot of technicians that ask me every show, so I don't know if anyone's listening that's concerned, but so by the FCC rules for flying, you're allowed one umbrella per passenger. So that means golf umbrellas, whatever. So the ones I sell, anyone else sells, you could take an umbrella on the plane as a carry-on, and it's free of charge. Um, Now, me being me, I've tested this multiple times. Every single time, I've taken 6 to 8 umbrellas by myself, and no one's questioned it. So I'm just letting you guys, everyone know. Everyone's asked me about the actual umbrella thing. I'm like, listen, if you can't take an umbrella back, call me or text me, whatever. I'll send you an umbrella. Never had someone take me up on that offer, John. Um, that umbrella thing is by the law. They're allowed. Each passenger is allowed one umbrella, and I've taken several per
How
person.
many
So,
how many reapers is each passenger allowed? Do you know? How many
well,
dent
I'm at one
reapers?
right now. I'm at one, but I'll
We've
test it
got
for you, John.
successfully what? What are you holding in your hand right now? What is that thing?
New prototype next tool. So this is not something that I'm coming out with new. I will be coming out with some newer tools for you guys watching. So I will show you what I have. This is my strong arm clamp, right? That holds your heat gun. It also holds your umbrella, right? You guys have seen this tool before, great. So I've had a couple technicians, and I say a couple, maybe 2 dozen, where this piece here, if you look at the tool, the plastic, it's plastic injection with 12% glass reinforcement. Um, I've met with the manufacturer in person, and the problem is right here. Like I said, 2 dozen customers, but I'm really passionate about making a good tool and standing behind it. And it come in a time to where it was like consistent, so I was like, got to make it better. So this will consistently, I have no problems with the heat gun. This will be consistently the same, grip. So what I want to do for the umbrella customers, this guy here. So if you could tell, quite a bit difference. Much bigger. So the idea is I've already sent these out 2 months ago, and I got a new mold and a cast and all this made. Much bigger mold. So this will be something that's hopefully coming out for Vegas. I don't want to promise, but you can see the difference. So hopefully by August, if not sooner or later, these will be the new umbrella grips. I'm only doing it for myself because I'm a perfectionist, trying to make everything perfect. My umbrellas, if you guys don't know, it's getagripnow.com. Um, I come out with 68-inch umbrella that when I came out in 2017. If you've been listening from the beginning, um, now at this point, 5 generations. And what's changed is the size. It went from 68 to 72 to 80 to now I'm like 81 inches. But I also did some reinforcement on some of the outer um, umbrella, the tips and everything. I mean, the handle's a little bit thicker. It's plastic, doesn't collapse. If you guys don't know my products, I do take a lot of passion in my things I manufacture. I like to make sure I can make them strong as I can. Basically, if you're looking for a strong product, someone who takes pride in their work and stands behind it, Matt, Get a Grip. You can find it at getagripnow.com. Um, yeah, I mean, meet me at MTE. I love talking to you guys. I love, learning from people, talking to different technicians, and yeah, that's basically it.
Absolutely. And I mean, I would only echo that. Like, bro, your stuff is second to none. It works for me every single time. I think I have probably the first or second gen strong arm. That thing is a beast. Every time I pull it out, it works. and my umbrella works every freaking time as well. And I did try the cheapo mode when I first was getting started. I think I got it off of Amazon. It was called a Click Gear. And dude, that thing busted loose on me. I was working on a dealership. I was working on the certified pre-owned row, and that leads straight up the lot to the sold unit row. And that thing busted loose on a windy day, and I went dead sprint through the lot chasing this umbrella off this little Click Gear fucking cheap piece of shit, just praying it wouldn't land on one of the sold units. Luckily it didn't, but I soon after bought a Get a Grip, and
no, it's a badass tool. I have a lot of people have that clink, that tool you're talking about. That cup is a 4.5-inch cup, and also it's a plastic little sleeve that holds any umbrella, which is great. I like that part of it. But it also doesn't pivot 220 degrees, so it'll only pivot a certain degree, and it won't go past that degree. It's a good product, though. I mean, if you're a new tech, I mean, I'm an honest guy, John, and I'm telling other people listening, dude, if you can't afford the tools, you don't even know what you're doing yet, and you're trying to figure out if you're going to even make it in the tool industry, dude, buy that thing. I don't know how much it costs, but buy it.
Yeah, it's like
once you realize,
$40.
And once you realize, okay, what you're doing, it could be a month, it could be a year, whatever it is, and you realize, you know what, I need a real, tool that's going to last me and something that's more functional. Look me up, getagripnow.com. But no, I totally am not like one of these guys, like a total salesman, John. Like, dude, I get it. That little clink, whatever that thing is called, it's a good tool. There's a lot of guys. I sell these umbrellas to a lot of wheel refinishing guys, paint correction, not replacement, but mostly windshield like cracks.
Yeah. The UV.
So, but a lot of them use these umbrellas, and they run into mine. They're like, yeah, not only is the umbrella much larger, because the umbrella that I actually sell with this is not something you could buy like at Costco or something you can buy at any sporting goods store or Google. It's an 81-inch umbrella. This thing, the frame of it is not anything you can find anywhere. That's a golf umbrella style that big. Um, the biggest umbrella you can find, jumbo size, is 68 inches. This is 81 inches. And on top of it, the grip that comes with it, the umbrella will shred. I can take this thing on the freeway, go at 90 miles per hour, the umbrella will shred. The cup will never come off. That thing is solid. 6-inch cup.
Yeah. I saw your post. I saw your post like 2 weeks ago, maybe. It was Father's Day. You were you had a sheet of plywood, and you put 2 cups on the back.
Yeah. I've done
2
that
cups
twice.
on them.
Yeah. No. So what John's saying, guys, for not cutting John off, is that I actually had to run down the hardware store and get a piece of 48 by 60-inch piece of plywood. Instead of taking all my tools out, because I have a tonneau cover, I just suction cup 2 grips to the back of my back glass, and then I attached the actual plywood to it, with the grip part, and I just drove home. And I only live, like I said in the video, I only live like, less than a mile. But it wasn't a problem. I drove like 40 miles per hour. But it just shows the versatility of the tool. I mean, you can use it for multiple different ideas.
And when you guys see him, when you went, I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when, because I hope everybody listening to this goes to MTE Vegas. I've seen you hang like kettlebells, like crazy shit off of your strong arm or umbrella grip, and just leave it there all day. Like,
all right, John.
Insane
I'm gonna
weights.
let people know, going to Mobile Tech Expo in Vegas. So I don't know if it doesn't sound like you've seen it, but for the Dream event, I actually hung my employee that weighs 150 pounds. He's a rock climber off my ceiling, right, in my booth. So I put a piece of plexiglass to the ceiling. I bolted it. I put a suction cup to it, my grip, and he has a climber. He has all his gear. We hung like 20 pounds, 40 pounds, 60, 80, 100, then 110, and it was physically heavy for him to pick it up, right? And he's like, dude, I'm done. Then he hooked himself into it, right? And hung and twirled. Like we did this like 9 times that day for the dream event because he couldn't record live events. We
Yeah,
did it
yeah.
like
I was
nine
in my
times over.
own booth.
You were in your
Unfortunately,
own
I didn't
booth and
get.
I was in my own. Yeah, and you didn't see it. That was the one downside of the dream event for you guys listening. Wish you could replay the live events. So, anyways, long and short, we hung him like 8 times off the ceiling. And then I handed him at the end of the day because he's drinking. We handed him a beer, and then I handed him an extra 20 pounds. I go, here you go, dude. So we had 180 pounds, and I know it holds even more. We didn't do it, but the point is, John, everyone listening, if you're still listening, the Vegas event, I have a whole entire rig set up. We're hanging them live all day long. So we're gonna hang people off this grip in Vegas. So if you guys show up to the event,
Sign me
you'll
up.
see a guy. You'll see a guy hanging off the grip. You might see a bunch of weight, like 100 pounds, and then we'll grab him and put him on the actual, you know, A-frame that we had designed. So
That sounds
no
awesome,
joke.
dude.
So I stand behind my products, man. They're strong. I mean, if there's a weak part, I'll try to make it stronger. I do my best. It's like a dent, man. I'm just
Yeah,
trying to do the best I can.
I have no doubt you stand behind your products, but I haven't had a problem with them yet, so I don't have to deal with that. But
I don't have a lot of
uh,
problems, but if I do, I'm like, just make it stronger, you know? I'm not looking to make excuses. I'm like, dude, I'll take it in and
yeah.
go, all right, make this better. You
All
know?
right. Well, before we go, I mean, I don't know. You've run a mobile business for 10 years plus,
16 years.
16 years. What is there any
Oh, five.
tech tips you can give to a mobile guy?
Oh, I love. Oh, man.
Just
All right, John, give me a category. Like what year? I mean, how, if you're new to the business or you're 5 years in, I mean, what
yeah,
do you
yeah.
think of
Just
them?
as a mobile guy,
I
what
love
is
helping
what
people.
is one thing you can do to increase efficiency? And for me, like I custom built a box with two drawers to fit in the back of my Tacoma. So I have rods on one side, I have my lights and all my
God, I'm
glue
so.
pulling gear on another side. I've got a drawer up top. I should do a video on that. I'm gonna have to do a video on that. But
I want to put them all.
organization for me is so key. And
Well, I hear you. Now I'm just trying to consolidate my ideas. I mean, I have so many inputs, so I'm just trying to get an idea. So basically, if you're a new tech, old tech, whatever, um, hmm, I would say be open-minded. Also, with tools, I'm a big fan of heat. Heat's a huge thing. I don't care as a small day, dude. If I'm doing retail, and this customer is a picky customer, and it's a dime-sized dent, dude, I don't care if it's shallow, medium, whatever it is. If you put heat on that thing, it's gonna come out so much cleaner, and the metal's gonna move so much easier with heat. Heat's number one. Tips. If you're a technician, get a lot of tips, different tips. I'm a big ultra red tip fan. They're new to the industry, like a year old. Um, Ultra makes
yeah,
these
yeah, those
red cap
whatever
tips.
that
Those things
yeah,
don't wear out. With
they
heat, they
last
don't wear out
forever. They last forever.
forever. So
Uh,
heat,
I got a
um,
bag of five. I'm still on my first one.
right? They're too good. I told Steve, I'm like, dude, these tips are too good. So we talked to him. I did some prototypes. Me and Steve did some prototypes of blade tips. They're sleeves. I was like, dude, if you can make the same tips and blade, we talked about it. I made them. I've been using them. They don't hold up. I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna blow any smoke
That's
up
the
anyone's
same.
ass, but those tips are not. not as good as the round ones.
Yeah.
Still working on that. What else?
He always has good stuff. He'll figure it out.
No,
Well,
we talked about it. Yeah.
That's good enough, man.
All right.
You gotta have a
good.
variety of tips. You gotta have heat. Heat is huge. Is there anything else I forgot? Like, is there something that you were hoping I would talk about that we missed?
Why didn't you get a variety pack of these in person? Other than that, no, we're good.
Again, I didn't have the
All right,
purple
John.
ones yet, and
We gotta. How much you have? Let's see.
I have way more than you. I can't kill it,
Ooh.
but we'll do a shot to kill it. Is there a do you have a fancy toast you wanna bust out? Do you know any good toasts? I got a good toast if you don't have one.
All right. Yeah, it's gonna be better than Kevin Bird. Do the Kevin
No,
Bird
I
stuff.
can't compete with Kevin Bird. How dare you? So I believe this is from the movie Blow.
I will finish,
but
John. Not to set the tempo, I will finish this for you for this toast. That's quite a bit.
I'm not finishing mine.
No, I'm not
finishing
asking
mine.
you to. I'm looking
All
for
right.
you equal. I'm looking for an equal. That's all.
Oh yeah, I'll do at least that much. That's child's play.
Okay.
So may the wind always be at your back, and the sun upon your face, and the winds of destiny carry you aloft to dance with the stars. Live your dreams, people. Salut.
Just wanted to thank you for listening to another episode of Dents and Dreams. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, compliments, or complaints, I can be reached at Dent Reaper across social media. And be sure to subscribe to the Dents and Dreams Facebook group and or YouTube channel, because that's where it'll happen if and when we
Much
go
more
live.
silver than the last episode.